ask you a question. There's a number on your credit report right now that is quietly costing you hundreds of dollars a month. Higher interest, bigger down payments, loan denials, and somebody told you that mark will sit there for 7 years no matter what you do. Do you believe it? That is the lie. Because the truth of the matter is most people never challenge it, and the system is counting on just that. Now, I've been inside this system for 37 years. I've read the same letters the bureaus read. I know exactly what happens on their end when you push back. And I stay on top of what is working and what has changed. And there is one law most credit repair companies never even mention because it is not a credit law at all. It is a privacy law. And it might be the most powerful tool you have ever been handed. So today I'm going to show you what a derogatory mark really is, what the bureaus are legally required to do when you challenge it, and what the two removal levers are for collections, including the privacy lever almost nobody knows. And here's the part almost nobody's teaching. The mark does not fall off because you deserve it. It falls off because the person holding it cannot prove two things: that the information is accurate and that they even have the right to hold it. By the end of this video, you will know the exact phrase that triggers that investigation. Stick with me because I've got to say this again in a minute. But let's do this. What a derogatory mark actually is. First, let's talk about the real problem. A derogatory mark is any negative entry the bureau codes against your name. That's all it is. A data entry, not a judgment on your character. And here is what most people never see. Those marks are not all the same. There are 5 types, and they are not equal. Number 1, late payments. The 30-day late, 60-day, 90-day late. This is the most common mark and the easiest one to soften. Number 2, charge-offs. That means the creditor wrote you off as a loss. They gave up trying to collect through conventional methods. Number 3, collection accounts. And here is the thing about collections. They get sold and they resold and then resold. And every time they are sold, they pass through another set of hands. That is your opening. We're coming back to this one. Number 4, tax liens and judgments. Most tax liens have now been stripped off reports, but judgments can still show up. And number 5, the heavy ones: bankruptcy, foreclosure, repossession. These carry the longest clock. Now here's what I want you to remember. The type of mark decides the path. This is why the one-size-fits-all advice fails. Most people get told the same thing for every mark, and that is why it does not work. Do me a favor real quick. Subscribe to this channel. Hit that like button right now. I want YouTube to send this out to as many people as possible so they will be on top of this information. Now, what the system is legally required to do. So today I want to share something that you may not have ever learned or you may not have ever seen it. The engine of this whole thing is a law called the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Say it with me. The Fair Credit Reporting Act. Here is what the law says in plain words. Every single entry on your credit report must be accurate and it must be verifiable. That means they have to be able to prove it. So when you dispute or challenge a mark, the Bureau has to investigate it, usually within 30 days. They have to go back to the company that reported it and demand proof. At least that's what's supposed to happen. And here's the part that changes everything. If that company cannot verify the mark, the Bureau must delete it. Not should, must. It is the law. This is not a favor. This is not them being kind. This is the law. The system only verifies when it is forced, and the force is you challenging what is visible. Now, there are 4 removal paths, and you've got to get this. When the strategy works best, I'm going to tell you exactly how you have to do this. There are only 4 removal paths that I want you to wrap your mind around today. Each mark has a path that fits best. Path 1, the verification and privacy dispute. This is the big one, and it has 2 levers. Let me give you the first lever. Lever 1 is the accuracy challenge. Here is what you do, step by step. First, put all 3 of your reports. Make sure you pull them, get all 3 of them in front of you, and you do not get them free at annualcreditreport.com, because if you challenge using this credit report, the Bureau gets an extra 15 days to respond according to 15 USC 1681 IA1. So get your reports somewhere else, like Smart Credit or the credit bureaus themselves. Second, find every negative mark. Write down who reported it, the amount, the date, the account number. Third, write a challenge letter, and listen to me closely here. Do not write, "This is not mine." That is a weak dispute. The word dispute in the frame of credit repair means this is not mine. But a challenge is not a "this is not mine." A challenge is asking for some specific proof based on something we see. So instead, name the specific inaccuracy, the wrong date, the wrong amount, the reporting error, and demand that they verify it item by item as they have listed it. Fourth, send it certified mail with a return receipt. That receipt is your proof. The 30-day clock starts the moment they receive and sign off. Fifth, if they cannot verify it, it gets deleted. If they do verify it, you move to the next lever, or path 2 or 3. Now, let me show you the second lever, and this is the one almost nobody teaches because it doesn't fall into the laps where most people relate. I'm going to say it again. Almost no one understands this lever 2. It is the privacy challenge, and I want you to get this. And it is built on a law called the Graham-Leach-Bliley Act, 15 USC section 6802. Write that down. GLBA 15 USC 6802. Now, here's what makes this law so powerful. It is a privacy law, not a credit law. And a privacy law says this: your personal information cannot be shared with a third party without your signature. Your name, your address, your account details, that is private information, and they need your permission to share it. Now, here's what happens when a debt gets sold. Follow me closely here, because this is the whole trick. When a debt buyer buys a debt, most of the time, they do not receive actual ownership of the debt. They do not get a real assignment of the title. What they actually get is a spreadsheet. That's it. Your personal information dumped into a spreadsheet. No title, no real ownership, just your data. And then they start collecting, calling you, reporting it to the bureaus, call you on the phone again. They done you. But here is the problem. They are holding your personal information as a third party without your signature, and that is a violation of 15 USC 6802. So the challenge is simple. Demand proof of ownership. If they cannot produce the actual chain of assigned title, the signed assignment that shows they own the debt itself, then what they are holding is your data, not your debt. And under a privacy law, holding your data without your signature is the violation. This is why the privacy lever works on collections in particular, because collections are the one mark that changes hands, and every hand it passes through creates another ownership gap. The original paperwork often disappears. The title chain breaks, and that broken chain is your leverage. So now you hold 2 ways to challenge a collection. Number 1, you cannot prove it is accurate. That is FCRA. Number 2, you cannot prove you own it. That is GLBA. Most people only ever use the one. That's the first one. The second one is where the real leverage lives and where the real success lives. Path 2, the goodwill letter. This one is for the isolated late payment, 1 or 2 lates on an otherwise clean history. Here's what you do. You write the creditor a letter. You own the mistake. You point to your history of on-time payments and you ask them as a courtesy to remove the late mark. Now, here is the honest truth. This is not the law. They do not have to do it, but many creditors will as a courtesy if you have a clean track record. This works on lates. It does not work on charge-offs or collections. Path 3, pay for delete. This is for collection activity from agencies. You offer to pay the debt, but only if they agree in writing to delete the mark before you pay. Get it in writing every single time. Some agencies refuse. Many smaller ones will say yes, but remember, this is a negotiation, not a right, and the deletion promise must come first in writing before you send your money. Path 4, the obsolete clock. Negative marks fall off after 7 years. Bankruptcy Chapter 7 is 10 years, but you can dispute a mark as obsolete about 6 months early. TransUnion is known to remove marks at the 6-month mark. This requires no error at all. You are simply enforcing the timeline. Now, what should you not do? There's some things you've got to remember that you should never be doing, and this part protects you. You cannot remove accurate, verifiable, negative information just because you do not like it. And you cannot remove a debt that the collector can prove it owns. No letter, no company, nobody can legally do that. And the privacy lever is not magic. It is not debt forgiveness. It is you enforcing your legal right to privacy. If the debt buyer can produce the actual chain of title, the challenge ends right there, and that is the honest boundary. But let me tell you something. Here's a warning. Stay away from any credit repair company, anybody that's making promises to delete accurate marks for a fee. If they promise guaranteed deletion of legitimate debt, that is your red flag to run the other way, because chances are they're going to use a method that will not survive time. And do not dispute everything blindly. If you file frivolous disputes, the bureaus can flag your file and then they ignore your future disputes. I've been doing this 37 years. Trust me, I've seen enough of this. One more thing. Paying the debt does not remove the mark. The mark can stay there as paid. So if you pay, you must negotiate the deletion, not just the payment. You have the right to challenge and they must verify it. And this is a major key for you. You can challenge anything listed on your credit report. Now, here is the real lesson, and I want you to sit with this one. Your credit report was never a report card on your character. It is a database, and a database can only legally hold information it can prove, held by someone who can prove they own it. That's it. Most people live with a mark for 7 years, not because the mark is permanent, but because they never made the system prove either one. Same person, same past, but different positioning. Once you understand the verification rules and the privacy rules, you hold the leverage, and that makes all the difference. Now, let me talk to you straight. You've probably been told your problem is discipline or budgeting or simply working harder. Those things may matter, but they may not be the root problem. The deeper issue may be a financial system you have not been shown how to see yet. So I built a free tool to help you identify which layer is creating the most friction, and you can learn it in about 5 minutes. It's called the CBL Financial Positioning Diagnostic. The link is below. There's no cost, no pressure, but a boatload of clarity. Now, what I just showed you is the standalone mechanism. You can do every single step yourself. But here is where most people stall. Knowing which lever to pull on which mark, in what order, and how to make sure one removal does not undo another. That is the full CBL implementation, the diagnosis, the sequencing, and holding the game. If you want that done done with you, not just for you. The link is below. Do me a favor real quick and subscribe to this great channel. Hit the like button because we want many people to see this so they will be on top of this information just like you. And drop me a comment today. Tell me which of the 5 marks is sitting on your report right now, and do you think the person holding it can prove they own it? I want you to be blessed and have an absolutely awesome rest of your day. Be blessed.